Excuse me. Hope y'all ain't gonna hear that on the live. I don't know if y'all gonna hear that on the live or not, but please excuse the belch. It was not intentional. I feel like I ain't did a car Chronicles in like a week out this. I'm just sharing it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, share. Let's see if we get some people to join. Let me see. Let me put this in this link over here. Go to channels, lab control. Let's go ahead and paste this up in here. Live now. I hit that up in there. Let me share it on Facebook. Share it on Facebook. Let's park over here so I don't go live and drive. Don't go live and drive. No, I'm not growing my hair back. I just didn't feel like waving it up. So when I don't feel like waving it up, I buy this little scrunchie and do this shit, swirl it around and shit. So I can't say that I'm waving it up. No. I just didn't feel like, excuse me, growing it out. I know y'all want me, I know y'all want me to grow it out. I know y'all want me to grow it out. But I done had it cut. I know y'all want me to grow it out, but I done had it cut like this so long. If I get the braids, y'all gonna tell me, somebody gonna say Cap is having a midlife crisis. Why the hell is he growing his hair out and getting braids now? You know what I mean? Somebody gonna say that. So instead, I just keep it low. This is a size 3, I think, maybe 3.5. So I just scrunch it like that. So I ain't got to do the shit. All right, post that live now. Oh, let me see if I can go live on my TikTok. So I'm gonna be hands-free, ladies and gentlemen. Hands-free, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do the roll call first before I put my TikTok on. So let me click this here. Let's see. So, shout out to Durant, Kazak, Yehoshua, Mara Kapah, Shapah, Adolphus, Flip the Script, Michael Love, Adam Greer, Just Start Paint, Kareem. Hey, Karam, I'm sending your oils out. I think I owe them something, so I'm sending that out. Rhoda, I think I got everybody, all right? So now let's see if I can go live on TikTok today. We're going to see. So I'm going to go to TikTok. Well, I think I can because I went live on TikTok the other day. I'm going to go live. Let's see. Because I went live when I taught class. So let me see. Let me put this over here. Slant it like that. Okay. So now I'm live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Trying to see if I could do both of these. Let me see. Okay, hold on. All right, I think I got it both. I think I got it. I'm trying to make it to where I can look at both at the same time, talk at the same time. Is Wack trying to get? Okay, I don't know too much about Wack and the Big U thing to speak on that, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna have to put this here. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to put. Let me turn the Bluetooth off. Let me turn this Bluetooth off. So I think I'm gonna hold this phone here. See if it holds right there as long as I don't touch it. All right, now I think I'm good. All right, so Friday, this coming Friday, I got a debate against this cat named Elder Yara. The debate subject is reincarnation supported by the Bible? He picked the subject. We did this debate last June on my channel. We did this debate last June on my pay-per-view site. It was the first one we did on the site. So when we did the battle, the video footage got messed up. So he said I owed him a rematch, which I didn't have a problem doing. So he picked the title, and I don't think he realized when you say it's something supported, it's a weird thing to say it's something supports something. So, but he picked the title. We're gonna do it this Friday, 8 o'clock on Sign of this channel. I'll probably stream it on Cross the Line Radio as well. What y'all think about that title? Tell me what y'all think about the subject. Do y'all believe? And this for my TikTok family, my YouTube family. This is the benefit of having two phones. I told y'all I need a third phone. So who gonna get me a third phone? They got this OnePlus Fold that just came out, and this OnePlus 12 that just came out. So who gonna get me the phone? And you know I'll use it because I'm a geek. I'm a low-key geek, low-key nerd. So y'all let me know. Let me know on TikTok. Can they comment on TikTok? Let me see. Can you comment on TikTok? This only like my third time going live on TikTok. I'm glad my nails is clean. Yes, so they got that OnePlus Fold. So who gonna give me the OnePlus Fold? Let me know. And so y'all tell me what y'all think. What y'all think about the reincarnation? Do y'all believe that reincarnation is in the Bible? Can y'all tell me? I'm looking in the chat. I got to look at the article for the Mississippi bodies behind the police station. But nobody should be surprised that unearthing dead bodies, right? Unearthing bodies is an American. Okay, so Karam on TikTok said, yes, but it's spiritual. Can you explain what you mean when you say yes, but it's spiritual? Matchless Gaming said, I'm not an Israelite. Can you explain how I'm not an Israelite? So we got two people on TikTok. One said yes. Let me see. I know the resurrection is in the Bible. So now, what do you mean by resurrection in the Bible? Can you explain that to Yehoshua? Explain that. So the person that said I'm not an Israelite, you got to tell me how I'm not an Israelite, because I don't know what that means. Oh, Matchless wants to come. Hey, I almost want to. So Matchless wants to come on my live, but I don't know how to kick you off the live if you act retarded. So I don't know about that one yet. So Yehoshua, you got to explain that, because my position is that reincarnation is in the Bible, and not just for humans. Not just for humans. Hey, push it again, Matchless. Matchless, that's the worst thing you can say to me. Push it again, Matchless, to join as a guest. I'll bring you on as a guest since you said I'm scared. So request the invite again. I'll bring you on here. All right. So reincarnation is not just for humans. If you okay, here we go. Wait, hold on, y'all. I think we got this guy. I don't know who this guy, I don't know if it's a guy or not, but he said I'm not an Israelite. So I sent him an invite. We're going to see if he joins. This might be some real live shit. I might have to take the YouTube and bring it and face it forward so y'all can see. But I sent an invite. Why you ain't joining? It's just spinning. So I'm going to show y'all as a witness. Can I reverse this camera? Hold on. So as y'all can see, what did I say that why was my video flagged? What did I say?
Probably because you were cursing. Probably because you said the R word.
Oh, okay. Okay, I can hear you though. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so the reason why you're not an Israelite, because you assume that the scriptures tell you that you're an Israelite. For instance, like Deuteronomy, Job, Jeremiah, Revelations, all that stuff. You all misinterpret the scripture.
Okay, so now before we go further, right, with just that statement you said, right? Anybody that identifies themselves ethnically, isn't there always a source for it? Let's say if for Arabic people or Chinese people, or even those Jewish people, don't they all use a source to identify who they are?
I mean, are you talking about like their origins before they were Chinese or something?
Yeah, well, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, don't they all use a source to identify who they are? Or do they just say we are those people?
I mean, I guess so, but my point is this.
Right. No, so I want to walk with that. So when you make the statement about the Israelites, right? The only place that anybody, take it off of me or anybody, whoever you think it is. The only place that you can identify as being an Israelite is the Bible and the scriptures, right?
That's what you're using.
No. I said that listening is an art. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but I'm going to teach you that. Listening is an art. I said, take it off of me. I said, when it comes to being an Israelite, the only place to go is the scriptures, correct?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so explain.
You also have to, know your history, your origin, your bloodline.
But when you said you also,
have to
when
take
you,
a physical test to know your ancestry.
okay, but you just said no, but then you said you also. So it sounds like,
not necessarily.
okay, so even not necessarily, you're not saying no. At best, you're saying you can't just use the Bible, but the Bible or the scriptures can be used. But it sounds like you're saying you got to use other things besides that, right?
You could use the scriptures if you know how to interpret them correctly.
So then, once again, so we're right back to, you said we try to be an Israelite from the scriptures, but you're also admitting that you can't identify being an Israelite from the scriptures if they're used properly, correct?
What I'm saying, from a lot of Israelites, wannabes, they use Deuteronomy 28:68 for their excuse.
I haven't mentioned Deuteronomy 28 at all. You got to always remember this. Whenever you're having a conversation with somebody, you shouldn't pigeonhole me to what other people use, because I haven't used any scripture yet. I'm just destroying your logic of saying that you can't use the scriptures.
But do you believe that Deuteronomy 28:68?
Before we get to what I believe, you said we use the scriptures to say we Israelites, and we can't. And then now you just changed it to where you can use it, but you have to understand it properly. So you're not.
I didn't say that. I said not necessarily.
And then
you couldn't use the scriptures at all. I'm saying you.
But you have to know them correct. You have to know them, right? You have to know them correctly, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So you're proving my point. That's what what's your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking you?
Them correctly.
I once again, I said, take it off of me. See, listening is an art. I haven't even, I said, take it off of me, meaning just so I'm going to talk to you like,
my question. You do believe that
before we get to that question, before we get to that question, which I don't have a problem answering. What's your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking you?
I'm Cuban.
Okay. Cuban ethnically? Like your father's Cuban?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So now, when you, to answer your question flat out, Deuteronomy 28:68 is a text that's used to describe our journey and how we got over here to America, correct? But now, we don't just use that.
Talking about America, though.
Wait, hold on one second. But we don't just use that. See how you said you can't just use the scriptures? So we use historical information, some oral tradition. We use, like, for example, when we say Harriet Tubman is an Israelite, that's oral tradition. You understand? When we say, like, in the book about the Native Indians, when they say they're from the tribe of Reuben and their brother Joseph is on an island nearby, which encompasses Ephraim and Manasseh, which would be the so-called Puerto Ricans and the so-called Cubans, that's also oral tradition. So you can't negate oral tradition, because everybody uses oral tradition. Before anything is written, everything is oral tradition. You agree?
I'm not gonna say yes or no.
Why? That's a simple. When I said before anything is written, it's all oral tradition. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, you're using that 12 tribes chart, which I don't believe.
Why are you changing the subject? When you get listen, I'm used to when people getting their ass whipped, change the subject. I just asked you a question. Before anything is written, is it not all oral tradition?
I'm not going to agree to disagree.
Why?
You haven't answered my question, so I'm not going to answer your question.
I did answer your question. You asked me, do we use Deuteronomy 28:68? I said yes. And then I gave you oral tradition to...
I said, do you believe that makes you an Israelite?
By coming up...
You use it for scriptures.
Okay, when you say makes you an Israelite, explain what you mean by makes you an Israelite. so I can
You
understand.
believe that Deuteronomy 28:68 talks about the transatlantic slave trade, that the people who were transported from
Right. I
Africa
agree
to
with that.
America are
Right.
the Israelites.
Right.
You believe that those are your ancestors.
Right.
Is that what you believe?
That's exactly what I believe. So and I wasn't being facetious. I just wanted to make sure I narrowed down the point of your question. So if that's your question, yes, I believe Deuteronomy 28 and 68 is describing the transatlantic slave trade, and the descendants of this transatlantic slave trade are the lost tribes or the Israelites that were brought over here in captivity. I believe that.
And that's incorrect.
Okay, tell me how that's incorrect.
All right. So, when do you believe that this captivity began?
You got to tell me how that's incorrect.
I'm about to explain it.
You talk about
When do you believe that the captivity of your people began?
I would say when Columbus came over here.
Okay, what year is that?
They say in the 1400s, maybe. So I would say some right.
But the Bible says 400 years, though, right?
The Bible does not say. The Bible does not say 400 years for this captivity. Like
no, it said 400 years that the children of Israel be in captivity.
Yeah, and they was in
captivity in the Bible did it talk
about? The Exodus. The Exodus was 430 years specifically, but when we round off, that's what that.
It said 400 years.
No problem.
The Israelites be in captivity.
No problem. So now that captivity that the Lord told to Abraham happened in Egypt, the first Egypt. There is no timeline for this captivity. That's why you heard me say, when you asked me about this captivity, and I mentioned Columbus, because the transatlantic slave trade started with Columbus. It didn't start from Africa to America. It started from America to Spain first.
America to Spain?
Yeah.
No, you mean from Africa to Portugal?
No.
That's when that first happened.
No, what again?
It happened in the early 1400s.
Once
when
again,
Africans were transported from Africa to Portugal.
You're missing what we're talking about. We're talking about over here in America. You didn't ask me. One second.
If Egypt is America, then it has to start with America first.
No problem. So again, you got to make sure you stay solid with your logic. You got to stay solid in what you're talking about. You asked me about Deuteronomy 28, and I said that's specifically talking about Africa to America and the transatlantic slave trade. Then you asked me, when did I think that happened? And I said, well, it started with Columbus coming here first. That's what I said next. Then I explained. Then you asked me, well, the Bible says it's supposed to be 400 years. And I said, no, that was Egypt. And it was specifically, it was, say again?
Genesis 15:13.
Right, Genesis 15:13, but also Exodus 12, and I think it's either 39 or verse 40, tells you that sojourn was 430 years. So the 400 years that the Lord was telling Abraham was that happened already. Anybody telling you, like, people like to make it, and you might have heard this is why you said this to me, people might try to make the correlation 1619 to 2019 and let that be the 400 years. I've heard that argument. But 1619 would not encompass all Israelites. It would only encompass those that were brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade. And when the white man recorded 1619, I think when Jamestown got established. But the Bible doesn't give that specific date. And Deuteronomy 28 and 68 specifically says, no man shall buy you, which that word buy is talk about being redeemed. So there isn't.
Actually, you're wrong about that. It's partially in the concordance in the Bible. Redeem is a part of that word.
I know.
But redeem means to save, to buy.
That's the same. Okay, no, wait, but that's the same thing, because remember. What
happened in America then? What happened in America? Were slaves bought and sold?
Yeah, but we were not redeemed, nor were we saved.
No, you were redeemed because the
Proclamation
Act saved y'all from slavery.
When were we redeemed? Do you know what redeem means?
The Proclamation Act.
Well, hold on, wait. Do you know what redeem would mean? So, like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of redeemed. The Jewish man was redeemed because the Jewish man went, and just so you know, I got about maybe 7 more minutes, just so you know. I'm just telling you ahead of time. The Jewish man were redeemed. They was taken out of Germany. They was put into Palestine, It was divided in half so that they could be redeemed from their captivity. When black people were so-called freed, we were never redeemed. We still were
Yeah,
in.
you were.
No, we were not. We still were in
Yeah.
cap. We still were
You
in
weren't
cap.
slaves anymore.
One second. We still were in captivity. We still
No,
faced Jim Crow. Yes, we did. We faced
that's
captivity.
not
We
captivity.
faced
Captivity
we faced
was
Jim Crow.
slavery.
See, in your mind,
No,
because
not in my
I'm
mind.
gonna tell you.
In
Wait,
logic.
wait, hold on. Wait 1 second. To still be in the land that you was taken from, we were never brought back home. When were we brought back to our home? Like, that's why I use the Jewish man as an example. The Jewish man claimed to be a Jew. So they took them out of Germany, redeemed them into another land to be free. You can't take a people, put them in captivity, and say now you're free without allowing them to go back to where they were taken from captivity. If you lock a
Oh, so
person,
you think you
if
have
you
to
lock
go
a
back to
person up,
Africa to be
if you lock
redeemed?
if you lock a person up and put them in jail, when you redeem them and let them free, they're let out of jail to be able to go back to their home. The black people that were brought over here in captivity, and then the native Indians that were also put in captivity, were put on reservations in their own land, never free.
Okay, so to your logic, you think that you have to go back to Africa to be redeemed.
No, in my logic, I'm only saying that because you said we were free and we were redeemed.
You are free. You're not
No,
slaves.
no, we're not. No, we're not free. If we were free, we wouldn't be under the same oppression we was under when we were slaves. Being able to
But you're
work a
not.
job, yes, we are. Being able to work a
You're
job,
not working in a cotton field. You're not a slave.
okay, no problem. Being
You're not
able
being
to,
whipped. Your women are not being raped by white men because they can do it.
right. So now, you ever heard of the
That's not
term?
captivity.
You ever heard of the term? Um, you were freed. Excuse me. You was unchained physically, but you were still enslaved mentally. You ever heard that term before?
When were you chained?
Jesus Christ. Are you gonna be stupid, or are you trying to have a logical conversation?
Jesus Christ or Yeshua?
Like, once again, I'm trying to give you the respect of actually wanting to have a decent dialogue.
And
But
I'm asking you, when were
when
you
were
chained?
you said when were you chained? When I didn't ask you
Yeah,
that. I didn't ask you that. I asked you, have you
but you
ever
talked
heard
about being
I
chained
asked you, have you ever
as
heard
being
of the
slaves.
term? Here's what I asked you of a term. I didn't ask you what I was. Like, I asked you, have you ever heard of the term of being not physically chained, but mentally chained? And your response was, when were you chained? When we're talking
Yeah,
about,
I've heard of the term. I've heard of that term before.
if we're talking about slavery, and then you're saying we're not enslaved anymore, then you're admitting that at one time we were enslaved. So when I ask you the question, why would you
Yeah,
say
back in the early 1600s,
when
1700s.
were you in chains? Like,
Yeah, how does that term apply to you?
you're showing, and this is part of the reason why I didn't want to bring you on a live. I dialogue with white people, I dialogue with blacks, I even dialogue with an Asian. I don't mind having a conversation. But if you want to be a condescending butthole, I don't want to have that conversation.
I'm not
So
being condescending
then
asking you questions.
you would have understood exactly when I said, what does it mean to not be physically chained, but to be mentally chained? You would have been able to understand that. So I'll tell you what it means since you don't understand it. I'll use an example. I put this on my YouTube channel, not on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram page, where this bear was enslaved for like I forget the amount of time that the bear was enslaved off the top of my head. But the bear has since been 7 years removed from that slave, and it still walks around in circles of what it excuse me of the captivity that it was in. Because although he's free and can walk wherever he wants to walk, he still has that mental slavery in his head. So he's only walking around in that circle. So I'm trying to show you that just because you so-called been physically free does not mean that you're free. The only way any people can be redeemed or free is to be away from their captors. That's why the Jewish man was taken out of Germany, put into another land, so they didn't have to be around their captors. Black people have been around their captors since we've been brought over here in slavery. Native Indians have been around their captors. Taino Indians, Mexicans, we have all been around our captors and have never been away from them. So and then as we try to build ourselves up, so let's go with your notion that you so-called free, the late 1800s or whatever, they so-called freed the slaves. As we're building up our cities, who burned our cities down? That's a question.
I don't know. Not us, though.
When you say not us, are you white?
Not anyone today.
Wait. When you say, once again, this is what I mean when you say not anyone today, it shows you don't want to have a logical conversation. I said when they freed us in the late 1800s.
About something that happened hundreds of years ago. If you don't
You brought up slave. You brought up slave. Wait. You hopped in this live and brought up slavery, and then asked me if I believe we're Israelite. Wait. Stop. And then asked me if I believe that we are enslaved because of Deuteronomy 28. The only reason we're talking about slavery is because that's what you wanted to talk about. So don't now try to say we're talking about something from hundreds of years ago when you brought up the subject. You are the reason we're talking about this. I was doing my car chronicles. Wait, hold on. The transatlantic slave trade still happened hundreds of years ago. I was on my live stream talking about reincarnation. You brought up slavery. You brought up. Okay? So wait, slow down. So don't now when I ask you a question about who burned them down, who burned the black cities down, now you don't want to answer because there's only one answer. Who burned as the black city?
Because we don't know who's responsible for it.
We do know who's responsible. Okay, you know what I'll assume? You don't know who's responsible for it. So when they built Seneca Village, I'm going to give you an example. In New York City, they had a black town called Seneca Village. And in that black town, it was just black people. They wasn't bothering white people or nothing. But it just so happened that Seneca Village resided right next to Central Park. And because they wanted to expand Central Park, they burned Seneca Village down and expanded Central Park. The same thing with Black Wall Street. Same thing with Chocolate City or Washington, D.C. Same thing with Paradise in Detroit. Same thing with Rosewood. So when you say that we were free, if we were free as we built those cities, we would have been allowed to just build them just like everybody else is allowed to build them. But the fact that they burned them down just because we were black and living shows that we were not free. Hey, quick question. I don't know if do you follow me on TikTok?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't follow people that I don't agree with.
Okay, well, what I was gonna say, because I'm about to go, but I do a radio show every Thursday on my YouTube channel from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. midnight. That's Eastern time. If you want, you can come on my show live. Sometimes I do it through TikTok, but we mainly do it through YouTube. But if you follow me on TikTok, I'll follow you back. We can message each other, correspond, and even if it's not this Thursday, we can do it another Thursday if you want. Is that cool with you?
I don't mind.
All right, no sweats, because I'm about to end this live. So I appreciate you joining. I don't know how to remove you, so if you could remove yourself. Oh, wait. Disconnect. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna put this back. That was I was actually not expecting to have a dialogue. Now I'm switching back. I was not expecting to have a dialogue. Now he said he was Cuban. I think he's a white guy. What y'all think? Do y'all think he's a white guy? Y'all tell me if y'all think he's a white guy or not. Y'all let me know. I'm looking in the chat. Yeah, issues of the heart. Yeah, he white, right? He talking about he Cuban. Nah, he didn't sound like Vocab, and Vocab wouldn't have been scared. Vocab wouldn't have been scared to come on my live and say what he was. Vocab is a lot of things, and one of them is thirsty. And so Vocab is thirsty enough to where he would have definitely came on here and said, "Nah, Captain, I believe this, Captain." And we would have had a full-blown dialogue. So I won't put that on Vocab. But I thought that was pretty good. Impromptu. Hey, TikTok got some advantages, I see. There's some advantages to doing the TikTok live, man. I got to do both. And for my YouTube audience. My YouTube audience, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I flipped the screen so y'all can hear it. Did y'all hear it good on YouTube? For those that don't know, I got 2 phones. Once again, I'm just putting this out there. I ain't telling nobody they got to do it, but I need a 3rd phone. I need 3 phones. I need OnePlus Fold or the OnePlus 12. One of the 2. If y'all could hook me up, I would greatly appreciate that. But I was able to flip it on the YouTube so that they can see that as well. So I appreciate y'all joining me. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for Cross the Line Radio. I will be doing it live on TikTok, so y'all can hear it live on TikTok. And that's 10 p.m. Eastern time. 10 p.m. Eastern time to midnight is when we do the show. So until next time. Wait, hold on. I got 2 people on it. Let me see here. We are. If I didn't have to go, I see We Are Moors and Yisrael MC. If I didn't have to go, I would bring y'all on. But when I do the next one, I'll bring y'all on the next live. All right. So until next time, shalom. That's the TikTok. Hey, that was kind of fire. I actually like that. I might have to go live on this. Might have to go, but you gotta watch your motherfucking language. You can't say fuck, shit, bitch. You can't say none of that on TikTok. TikTok got all these damn rules. I want to be free. Oh, no, let me stop. Hey, I'm gonna be in Philly Saturday. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna be in Philly Saturday at a pop-up shop. Tune in to Cross the Line Radio tomorrow, live 10 p.m. Shalom.